YouTube, what's that word? It's Marko Stats. And today I'm going to do a story time because a lot of people wanted me to tell this story about young Pappy and how did I come across young Pappy. How was he? What are some memories that I can share with the both of us or about him? Um, so we're just gonna take it all the way back. I'm Marko Stats. I am from the north side of Chicago. I'm from the uptown area. I'm an artist. I make music. I do a lot of things. I YouTube. I work for nonprofit organizations. Yada yada yada. You guys know my story already, but for those of you guys that don't know my story, it's always nice to just catch people up. Okay, so I'm from the north side of Chicago. Now, Pappy, how I met Pappy was, let me take you guys back to when I was in fifth grade, right? When I was in fifth grade on the north side of Chicago, Chicago was really dangerous. And I remember it was so bad that when I was in fifth grade, we had kids coming from the south side or from the west side. They would travel all the way up north to our school to go to school because the violence was so bad on the south side and on the west side that there was kind of like this program, I think, or they started to organize just different situations where kids from out there can travel up north to go to school. At that time in Uptown, we was gang banging. They was always gang banging in Uptown. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was gang banging. It was street shit going on. But the street shit wasn't as bad as the south side. It wasn't as bad as the west side and other parts of the city. But at the same time, if Uptown was its own city within itself, that city would still be a pretty violent city, if that makes sense. Or if the north side was its own city, that would still be a pretty violent city. But Chicago is so big that the violence on the south side and the west side is so much compared to the north side, but the violence on the north side is still, it's still a lot. You know what I'm saying? But compared to the south side, which is, it's like the south side is like level 10 and like the north side is level 7. Level 7 is still pretty high. If somebody told you, to rate the violence in the city and they gave it a 7, that's still kind of high, right? So, but during that time, a lot of people from the south side was coming to our school, transferring into our school. I remember Pappy was one of the ones that transferred to our school when I was in fifth grade. When he transferred to our school, he was already rapping already. People were already calling him Pappy. People always called him Pappy since he was a shorty, and he was always rapping. In fifth grade, we had like a show and tell, or it was a class presentation where we had to present a project or something. And me and Pappy had made a song where we was basically talking about other people in the class. Like we was flaming them. We talking about people's shoes, talking about their clothes, talking about how they look. And it was funny, but that just goes to show you some of the moments that we shared. Pappy was always rapping. He used to rap everywhere. And in Uptown, back then, the Boys and Girls Club was the place to be. That was the place where a lot of people from not only the north side, but from different parts of the city would come there, just because it was busting that much. They had a gym in there, games room, dance programs, music programs. It was all different type of programs that was going on. And people from different parts of the city was coming through, watching people play basketball. Shout out to Taylor and Horton Tucker, who won a championship with the Lakers, LeBron James. He from my neighborhood too. He used to be in there too, you know what I'm saying? He played for the Utah Jazz right now. It was just all different type of people that was coming to the Boys and Girls Club. Lil Reese was coming up there at one point. Dirk supposedly was coming up there at one point. And it was just a spot, where people would kind of just kick it and do like extracurricular activities and shit. So that was a lot of time that me and Pappy spent together was at school. We went to McCutcheon, which is a school that's right next to the Boys and Girls Club. As soon as school is over with, we just go to the Boys and Girls Club, and they got all these activities that I mentioned. And Pappy was always rapping. He'd rap to school, he'd rap to the Boys and Girls Club, he'd rap to the corner store. We'll go to the corner store to grab some food, to grab some snacks, and Pappy would rap the whole time there. We'd get in the corner store, and Pappy would rap for the people that's in the corner store. He'd rap for the cashier. He'd just rap for everybody. We walk out the corner store, it's people outside the corner store, he rapping again. We walk back to the Boys and Girls Club, he rapping again. So Pappy was just always rapping, and people always knew him for being a rapper. At that time, because this was before the Chief Keef era, this was before drill and all that. So at that time, there wasn't really that many rappers. Nowadays, it's a lot of fucking rappers. If somebody tells you that they're a rapper, you probably gonna look at them like, oh, okay, you know, like you just another one of them. But back then, being a rapper was rare, and being a rapper, you actually got the respect that you deserve in your neighborhood. People actually looked at you like, damn, like you're a rapper. You speaking for us. You speaking for our area. Pappy was the only rapper that I seen that was my age at the time that was, you know, that was rapping from my hood. Because we had other rappers in our hood. Shout out to 10 Million. 10 Million, one of my mentors, one of the homies, man. He was rapping back then too. But he was older than us. The older guys in the neighborhood, they had their own crew that was called TOC, Talk of Chicago. They had their own little rap group already, and they was going crazy. They're just a little bit older than us. You know, Tim inspired me too. Just seeing them and seeing people from our area, Uptown, really rapping and really dropping videos and stuff like that. It really was like an eye-opener for me. Like, wow, I can actually do this. It's people that's down the street from me that's in my same neighborhood that's doing the same thing. Why can't I do it, right? Pappy was always rapping, boom, boom, boom. So he was rapping so much that he inspired me to rap. Yeah, I remember one day I came to school and I told Pappy, like, finna start rapping. You know, I just think I'm finna start rapping. And when I first told him, I thought that he was gonna crack a joke or something. Because at that time, I was really, when I was a kid, I was kind of shy. I was a little bit timid, but I was smart. You know, I was really smart. I got good grades. I get in trouble every now and then, but I was smart though, you know, but at the same time, I was kind of timid. I was nervous. You know, I had a lot of stuff I was going through at home and with my family life and stuff like that. And that shit was really affecting me at school and how I interacted with motherfuckers. So the personality that I had, it wasn't really the personality to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So when I first told him that, I thought that he was gonna laugh at me or he was gonna, oh, like, you know, because that's what we did back then too. We used to flame people, talk about people at lunch. We just, you know, that was fun to us to just crack jokes on people, crack jokes on how they look, clothes, all that. Niggas getting their ass flamed, you know. You wearing shacks, be flaming you, you know, like shit like that. But when I told him, he actually was like, hey, brother, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? If you need any help, anything like that, you know, let me know. And I remember I went home and I started to write some of my first raps. And I was writing that shit, writing it. You know, the shit was decent. And I came to school and I showed Pap. I think I rapped it for Pap. And Pap was like, oh man, that shit, you know, that shit decent. You know, because I would, you know, because every now and then I make these little parody raps. So I pretty much make a remix to a song that's already popular, but I make it funny. Like, meet me at McDonald's. It's going down. Got a double cheese. I'm not gonna frown. I'd be making like remixes and shit to, you know, to songs back then, making a parody version. So I was on some funny shit. So I was doing that, but I never really took it serious and actually trying to make a real song, like make something that people can feel. Once I started doing that, Pappy was like, yeah, man, this shit decent. You know, shit, man, keep it up. Keep it up, bro. Keep going. I was working on my raps all year. I believe at this point, this was like 6th grade, because I was in 5th grade and 6th grade with him. So, you know, so now I'm in 6th grade, I'm writing raps, I'm trying to get better at rapping. And then Pap is going crazy too in the area. He's still freestyling for motherfuckers every day. He getting better every single day. He just, man, I remember at that point, I just quit. I was like, man, bro, because I was just looking at Pap and I was like, just seeing how good he was, I was like, bro, I'm never gonna get that good. You know, after like 9-10 months, I just quit rapping. You know, by the time that we got to the end of the school year, 6th grade or something like that, I had stopped rapping and I focused more on playing sports just because I didn't think that I was going to be that good. Boom. That was me and Pappy's interaction in middle school when it came to rap. Now, fast forward, so now I'm in the sports. 7th, 8th grade, high school, I'm doing sports. I'm playing basketball, football, I'm playing all different types of sports, right? My goal was I wanted to get a scholarship for basketball, to play basketball in college. So I buckled down, and then the whole time Pap was kind of like in and out of jail. He was still rapping, but he ain't never really dropped a video. he was just known on the street for rapping. He'll rap against anybody. He'll just rap just all day, everywhere. And that's how he was known, but he still didn't have a video. And he been rapping since he was a shorty. When I met him in 5th grade, he was already rapping then. So I can only imagine how long he was rapping. And he never had a video because he was in and out of jail and he just ain't never. I remember, so Pappy, you know what I'm saying, going through who trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through my sports phase and shit like that. So I'm playing basketball. And then my senior year, my coach get fired. And when he got fired, they hired a new coach. And me and the new coach ain't really get along like that. So, he kind of like took me out the starting lineup. We started losing all of our fucking games. Our star player quit. And it was just it was chaotic. It was a lot of shit. And I was like, damn, bro. My dreams was crushing right in front of me because all I wanted was to just play college basketball, and get a scholarship. So once that happened, I'm like, damn, I'm just finna go back to rapping because I need an outlet to express myself. So then I, go back to rapping, so now I get to dropping, I get to recording little songs at the crib, at little studios and shit. Shout out to my bro Nate. Me and Nate started rapping again back together, and we was going to different studios and shit, really trying to figure out how to do this shit, how to get the ball rolling. And then I dropped a couple videos that I took down now because they're not that good. But my first couple videos, I remember I dropped it and I sent it to Pap. And that was around the time that Pap had dropped his first video, It's a Drill. He dropped his first video, and then after that, like a few months later or some shit, I dropped my first video. And I remember I sent it to him, and I'm like, yeah, bro, we both got videos out, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? We going crazy, yada, yada, yada. And I remember me and Pat was supposed to do a song together. And, you know what I'm saying, at the time, because I had sent him my video, he was like, yeah, this shit decent, bro, woo, woo. We supposed to do a song together. But then right before we was supposed to link up, some shit had happened where like the money for the studio time, I don't think I had enough money for the studio time or some shit like that. And we just ended up not going, but I still got the messages. I could probably put the messages on here in this video. I still got the messages of us, just like talking about linking up, going to the studio. And it just ain't never happened. And it was just like, damn, if I would have did that song with Pappy back then, who knows where that song will be or where, I'd be right now. You feel me? I got a song with Pappy. That would have been a legendary song. But things happen for a reason. So we didn't end up doing a song. Pappy get to going crazy. All through the city, all through the north side, he get to dropping fire ass videos. He staying consistent. He dropping mixtapes. That's the thing about Pappy. Pappy will always drop mixtapes. Even back when nobody wasn't really listening. Because Pappy was always dropping music. He just ain't have no video. But he was dropping mixtapes on .piff. He had like hella mixtapes on .piff. He would just drop them bitches here, just put them on Facebook. And people would just scroll past that shit. Some people would listen to it. Most people would just scroll past that shit like yada, 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 whatever, right? But then he started going crazy. So as soon as he started dropping the videos, it's like damn near every single video got better. Fast though. But it made sense because he was already rapping all these years. So he already had all this experience. He already had the character. He already had everything. His swag, his rap style, everything was already there already. He just had to just shoot the video now, He was doing that, and I remember he dropped that Finito. Remix. Once he dropped that Finito remix, that's when the whole city got the dick riding him. I was going, to the south side, and they was playing them. I was going to the west side. Once I seen niggas out south playing them, I was like, whoa, this nigga's something else. This nigga special. Because at that time, if you was from the north side, motherfuckers out south used to clown niggas from the north side because they don't respect the north side the same way because they feel like, because the fact that our hoods is over here by white people, and it's more diverse, and it's not just a strictly black community. You know, they feel like the problems that we go through up here is not the same, or it's not as bad, so they don't respect it. But once I start seeing niggas out south playing shit, I'm like, oh yeah, it's over with now. And then I remember, I was in the hood at one of my homies' cribs by Buttercup Park, and we were just chilling in a car. A car had like rolled through, just blasting music, and I looked, and it was Pap. It was Pap and BU, and they just, was just riding through the hood, and I'm like, damn, And I remember a few days later, I was walking home from something. I think I was coming from something. I don't know if it was from school or something. I was coming from something, and then a car kind of like rolled up on me, and I remember I looked at the car to see who was in there, and it was a whole bunch of niggas, and it was Pap. And then when Pap see me, he's like, "Oh man, that's Broski. What's going on, bro? Woo woo." You feel me? And I'm like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro?" And then like they just skirted off. You feel me? They looked like they was on some bullshit. And that was the last time that I seen bro. Was that one time? Was that time I was walking home? It was 4 niggas in the car. They pulled up on me. They seen it was me. Pappy was like, "What's up, bro?" I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro?" And then that's the last time I seen him. That shit was crazy. The day that he died, I was at work. I used to work at Little Caesars, and with my girlfriend at the time, she lived on the south side, and at that time, the north side was so hot. When Pappy was alive and shit, before he died, like the year before he died, like the north side was busting. It was motherfuckers dying. It was parties getting shut down by the FBI, parties getting shut down by the SWAT team. Like the north side was busting. There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of shit that was going on, and I was rapping too, and people, people know me in the area too. So what I do sometimes is I would leave the north side and I go out south to go kick it with my girlfriend and them, just because the shit was so hot, which is ironic because the south side is even more dangerous. But on the south side, in certain areas, Hyde Park, in certain areas, like there's certain areas on the south side that's pretty decent too, where Obama got his crib at and shit like that, So I was around there, and I just used to feel safe because on the south side, not as many people know me, so I feel more. So in certain like places there, I feel more safe versus on the north side, a lot of people know me. So if I'm out there for like a certain amount of time, people can spot me. They can, And that's the thing about the north side that people don't realize is that because it's so diverse and there's not as many black people up here as it is compared to the south side and west side, all of the black people up north know each other. We all know each other. And 8 times out of 10, if you on the north side and you walking down the street and you see another group of black people, somebody in that group probably knows who you are. And they probably know what hood you from. They probably know who you are. They probably know what hood you from. Or they know your peoples or something. That's how small the north side is. All the black people, we all know each other. We all damn near know where we from. This nigga from this hood. This nigga from that hood. This nigga from, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't gangbang, niggas know what block you from. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So when he died, I remember I woke up and my phone just had a whole bunch of missed calls and I had text messages and I went on Facebook and I just seen people just talking about Pappy and saying that bro got killed. And I was just, man, I was supposed to go to work that morning too. And I remember I called my manager and I was like, I can't make it. My homie got killed. And my manager, she was insensitive as hell. She was just like, oh, okay. Like, fucking bitch. These jobs don't give a fuck about you. These 9 to 5 motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. And, I just remember that shit. Man, bro. That shit was so fucking sad, bro. And I was just sad as hell. And, like, the whole day, my girl just had to console me the whole day. because I was fucked up. And I just felt bad because I didn't get to have a conversation with bro before he died. And I just remember our conversations will always be different. Just because I was always the different type of nigga that was in the hood. I was always the alternative nigga. I was always the nigga that thought different, that followed my own path. So anytime I would talk to niggas, you know, I feel like our conversations will always just be different. And that's why people respected me and respected what I got going on for those reasons. And man, I was just upset that I never got a chance to have that last conversation with him to really, really see how he doing for real and what his plans was for real. Cause, you know, back then when we were shorties, we used to have talks, and bro used to be telling me shit like, yeah, man, when I get older, I'm gonna do a song with Wayne, Ross. I'm gonna do a song with motherfucking Joel Santana, all type of motherfuckers, man. Pappy fucked with a lot of rappers in the game. Yeah, man, Pappy was more than just a drill rapper, because he was rapping before this drill shit even came into play. So he was a real rapper. He had that real skill. Back then, when it wasn't as cool, it wasn't as many people that was doing it. He was doing it back then. And those type of artists who been doing it back then, or who was doing it when it wasn't popular, when that shit become popular, they be the ones that be taking off. Pappy was one of them. And I just remember a couple Pappy stories that I'm gonna tell y'all before I jump off. I remember this one time we was at recess and we was playing football at Buttercup Park, which is the park that's right next to our school, McCutcheon Elementary School, that's right next to the Boys and Girls Club. So it's the park right here, the school right here, Boys and Girls Club right here. It's all right next to each other on the same block. So we was at the park playing football, and we wasn't playing football. Okay, so we was in the lunch at school, and we was all talking about, everybody was at the lunch table talking about bones. We was talking about different times that we broke bones, how do we break our bones, yada, yada, yada. It was just a random conversation. And I remember I told everybody, I never broke a bone before. And Pappy said the same thing. He was like, yeah, man, I never broke a bone before. I ain't never broke a bone. You know, people was like, what? Y'all never broke a bone? Like, nah, we never broke a bone before, gang. So fast forward to the next day, we going to schools the next day. Pappy come to school, he got a cast. And we all looking like, what the fuck? How the fuck? Because we literally just had that conversation the other day, yesterday, the day before, and Pappy told us he never broke a bone before. The very next day, he come to school with a cast. And we all looking like, damn, what happened? And he told us he was playing football at Buttercup Park, and it was the final play of the game. And the quarterback passed him the ball. He caught that motherfucker, but like the way that he caught the pass was thrown low. So in order for him to catch it, he had to dive for the ball and kind of catch it in an awkward position. And as he was doing that, he broke his wrist or some shit, or he fractured his wrist, or he fractured his arm. I think it was his wrist. He fractured his wrist or some shit. And he told us a story. And somebody asked him, they was like, why didn't you just drop the ball? And Pappy was just like, what? Drop the ball? I never dropped the ball. I knew that if I caught that pass, our team was gonna win the game. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what I did. He basically sacrificed his wrist so that his team could win. And that was just, you know what I'm saying, metaphorically to me, that's, you know, that just shows the type of character that he has. He really is a team player, and he really put himself out there for his squad. And that shit, you know, so that's a cool story with me and Pappy. I'm trying to think of another cool story. Oh man, I remember, so like, going to McCutcheon, I used to live by this school that was called Gowdy School. It's another school that's in Uptown, another elementary school. And Gowdy and McCutcheon used to be rivals. They right down the street from each other. They was like neighborhood rivals, you know. And I lived right across the street from Gowdy, but I went to McCutcheon. So you see how the conflict is, right? And people from Gowdy don't like motherfuckers from McCutcheon. People from McCutcheon don't like motherfuckers from Gowdy, you know. But I go to McCutcheon, but I'm living by Gowdy, right? So I remember motherfuckers from my school used to go to Gowdy to fight motherfuckers and shit. I remember this one time, Pappy at school, and some people at school in McCutcheon, they told us, like, yeah, man, we finna go, after school, we finna go to Gowdy, you know, and we gonna try to fight some motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? We gonna try to fight the Kings, because there used to be Kings over there. There used to be Stones. It's still Stones over there and shit, but, you know, back in the day, it was Stones over there, and it was Kings. It was Stones and Latin Kings. It's still Stones over there. The Latin Kings I don't be seeing as much, but the Kings used to be over there heavy. So I remember Pappy and they came over there by my crib. My crib is right across the street from Gowdy. They went to Gowdy, and there was a whole bunch of Kings and motherfuckers out there, like the shorties though. So in Gowdy, they used to have these little porches or like these stoops where the students would sit on after school and shit, and like on the weekend when people would just be at the school, because the school had, you know, a field and a park. So even on the weekends, kids would go up there to play at the school, outside the school, because it had the field and stuff. So kids would be sitting there on those stoops, on those porches, and Pappy had climbed up, you know, on top of the you know, the stoop or whatever, the porch or whatever the fuck that shit called. He climbed up there, and he just looked at everybody, looked at all the Kings, and he was like, "King killer, bitch!" Like he just get the yelling, you know, just dissing all of the Kings. He was dissing all of the Kings, and they was all looking at him like, and they ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. He dissed the whole gang. The whole gang that was over there, the Latin Kings, he dissed them, and they just left. And I just remember, like, this nigga is crazy. He just did all the Latin Kings, and he came to they hood to diss them, and they all just looked at him and they ain't do nothing. It was just weird. So that just shows you the type of personality that bro had, and just, you know, he had a lot of heart. And once he felt something, once he felt a certain way about something, he just went crazy with that shit. He went crazy, went stupid, you know. So those are just some stories about bro. But I got a ton of different stories with bro, man, because we was really in school together, in the same class together, you know, gym class, recess, 3-on-3 tournaments, all different type of shit. We did a lot of shit together, even rap, you know. So he one of the best Chicago rappers of all time, and it's a lot of people out there that still listen to Pappy, like, that still, you know, respect him, and they view him as one of the greatest rappers. Speed, he had a stream where he said that Young Pappy was his favorite rapper. Chief Baby Do It. He had an interview where he said that Pappy was his favorite rapper. YFG Fatso said Pappy was his favorite rapper. There was a lot of motherfuckers that said that Pappy were their favorite rappers. And whenever I go to different cities and stuff, and I tell people that me and Pappy grew up and I knew him, and Pappy was one of the first people that really inspired me to rap, because I knew him in real life and we from the same area, they always get shocked. And I always show them this picture right here, and I'm gonna put on the screen. This is me and Pappy when we were in 5th grade, I believe, 5th grade, which is a legendary pick, you know, because like I said, the fact that I make music as well now, and my music is different, and, you know, the heights that I was able to reach with my own music, branching off and doing it my own way, even though I come from the same area as bro, and bro did it his way. We both did it in different ways. It's just such a beautiful thing. And to just see how much respect and how recognized that bro is now on a global level, on an international level, on a national level, is mind-boggling. Because I told y'all, I was there when he was dreaming about all this shit. He was telling me. He was telling us for years, you know. So that's why whenever I feel the urge of, man, fuck this music shit, I don't want to do this shit no more, I think of guys like Pat and some of the other guys from my area who didn't get a chance to see today. And just, you know, once I start thinking of them, I just like, man, there's no way that I can quit. Like, there's no way possible that I should stop right now. I just gotta just work through whatever this issue is at the time, whatever this hurdle is. I gotta just push through for bro. for this person, for this person, for this family member. So, you know, that's how much that bro means to me, you know, and just the fact that I was able to witness history like that. God, he put me in those situations. He had me meet certain people for certain reasons, you know what I'm saying? And I truly believe that. So, rest in peace to my dog, Young Pappy, man. One of the best rappers of all time, one of the best Chicago rappers of all time. Every time that I'm out of town, all my songs I drop, everything I do, always folks the motivation. He the motivation behind a lot of shit, a lot of shit. He's a part of it. He a big part of it for sure, you know? So yeah, man, that's how I met Young Pappy. Make sure that you guys like this video. Make sure that you guys comment on this video if you guys want to, you know, got any comments or anything I said. Do you guys fuck with Pappy? Do y'all think Pappy is one of the greatest rappers of all time, one of the greatest drill rappers of all time? I really think that New York drill, a lot of the New York drill artists he inspired too, I see. Bro, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel. Click that post notification bell to be updated with everything that I got going on. Till next time, sweet. Appreciate y'all, man. Stay safe out there, all right? Love.